Hello, everyone, and we have a slew of crypto news for you. First of all, a national bank has actually rolled out a Bitcoin investment fund. That's right, the official bank of X country has done it, and that country is a small one, but it is still a national bank. It is called Bahrain. Now, Bahrain has made some really pro-crypto moves before, so it should not be too surprising that they actually made this move as well. They're not a very big country, obviously. The Bitcoin Investment Fund is designed for institutional investors, so big companies, fat cats, and will offer exposure to Bitcoin gains capped at a predefined threshold with 100% loss protection on the downside. So this is like one of the better things. Like, yes, you can only probably gain like 30-40% a year max, but the thing is like, if Bitcoin goes down, you don't lose anything. So you can only gain and not lose. I like those investment funds where you can't lose money, but you can only gain money, even if the gains are somewhat capped. As long as the cap is big enough, I'm okay with that, as long as they can mitigate my losses. Because if you can get me like even 20%, even if it's Bitcoin, if you can get me like average 20% ROI per year, I take that any day of the week. So the National Bank of Bahrain has announced the launch of its first Bitcoin investment fund designed for institutional investors in the Middle East Gulf Cooperation Council, formed by Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. So they're targeting the entire Middle Eastern area, not just them. This fund could be bigger than we think. According to local media reports, it was developed in partnership with digital asset firm ARP Digital. The investment vehicle will offer investors exposure to Bitcoin gains capped at a predefined threshold with 100% loss protection on the downside. 100% loss protection, man. You do not see that very often. That is an awesome fund, like I said, as long as that cap is not too low. So, man, if you can like find a fund that covers 100% of your losses and only lets you get gains, and if that ROI per year is like more than 10-15%, take that any day of the week. I know you want the 400% gains per year, but remember, you know, Bitcoin also has like 70-80% losses where you can go from 60,000 to 15,000. Imagine if you can just get like 25% a year guaranteed. And that's for that Bitcoin fund. I think Bitcoin goes up enough for them to actually guarantee that. That's really, really incredible. The structured investment opens new doors for investors seeking a calculated approach to digital assets, i.e. no risk, but the gains are slightly smaller, obviously. By leveraging our expertise in digital assets and NBB's extensive reach in the financial sector, we have created a product that introduces Bitcoin exposure within a highly secure framework. Bahrain has been gradually attracting more digital assets businesses thanks to efforts to increase an innovation-friendly crypto and fintech ecosystem, which has involved putting in place clear regulation that balances consumer protection with commercialization, according to Crypto.com Chief Operating Officer Eric Azani. Crypto.com was granted a license by Bahrain Central Bank to operate in the country in September, joining crypto exchanges Binance, a local operator since March 2022, and BitOasis. So that's really, really cool. And, you know, at first I thought it was like a really small fund targeting that country specifically, but that is not the case. It is for all the Middle East, and there are some really rich countries in the Middle East which could balloon the size of this fund. My guess is they'll actually back it with real Bitcoins, and the yearly ROI for the Bitcoins on average is probably going to be bigger than what they offer. Because you think about it, you know, Bitcoin top to top, even if it's like 200% ROI over 200% top to top over 4 years, that's probably 30-40% compounded a year. I'm not exactly sure what that math is actually right there because it's compounded interest. I can't calculate in my head that fast. I know a lot of you are like, it's 50% a year. It's actually not, because 50% compounded over 4 years is way more than 200. So it's probably like 30-35 or something like that. Not exactly sure. But those are still really, really good gains. And this fund should actually bring in a lot of new investors. Epic Games wants Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, all to join the blockchain revolution, because they want to create a new metaverse type of project to actually encompass all those games. And their new engine, Unreal 6, which will probably not release until like 2030 or so, obviously, is going to be written with metaverse in mind. Now, a lot of games do use Unreal 5 or are going to be used working Unreal 5 engine. It only released in 2022, and the average length of lifespan for an engine like that is 7 to 10 years. So we're probably not going to see it until the end of the 2020s, but they are designing with that in mind. Epic Games has thrown their hat fully in the crypto blockchain market. They want interoperable NFTs and interoperable ways within the metaverse to actually pay for things. They want to create a lot of value for video game players so they can keep coming back and spending their crypto. So they're working hard to break that barrier of like no microtransactions in crypto games, or like the anti-microtransaction movement, the anti-connecting your wallet movement, and they want people to be comfortable with connecting their their crypto wallets to buy in-game goods. So they're truly trying to move the Web3 and the gaming stuff forward. It'll be a while before this takes hold. There's still a lot of resistance there, and a lot of people just don't really want to connect their wallet to actually play a game. But it's Epic Games. They are a AAA developer. Remember, they do actually produce Fortnite, I believe, and they could slowly start to integrate blockchain and crypto into Fortnite throughout the years. And of course, when they release Unreal 6 engine, whenever that is, probably like in 4 or 5 years, and games start coming out on Unreal 6 engine, then like I think a lot more will actually start integrating into blockchain. I still think we're very, very early for a lot of the metaverse stuff, and that's why it's really not taking hold. I don't know if I really believe in the AR, VR stuff, honestly. That makes me dizzy, and I think it probably makes other people dizzy as well. But in terms of like eventually people immersing themselves in the metaverse, if you really think about it, I think it's inevitable. Because if you really think about kids right now, I mean, like a lot of them do spend their time online. Lack of social skills. That's probably why. If you're wondering, but like, you know, if they're already playing like League or like, you know, Fortnite, Minecraft, stuff like that, you can easily see them integrating it all into one system to milk more money out of those players. If you can trade avatars and NFTs between games, I think that would actually be a pretty popular thing for the player base. I'm just saying that, and plus Epic Games pushing it, I do think it has a better chance of success. Crypto miner Marathon has been sued. That's right. And it's not by the SEC, it's actually by the town's residents, because of noise. Yes, as someone who has actually mined Ethereum before, those damn things do make a lot of noise, the miners. I will tell you that, and if you have a giant machine like mining 24/7, I can definitely see people complaining because it's freaking loud. And it has caused some health issues for some locals. I 100% believe that because I've tried sleeping in the same room before as a crypto mining machine. Trust me, it does not work well. You can hardly get any sleep. So a group of residents in Granbury, Texas sued Marathon Digital, claiming noise from its nearby Bitcoin mine is a nuisance that caused health issues from some locals. And I do believe them. Over 24 residents in the town of Granbury, Texas filed a lawsuit against crypto miner Marathon Digital, claiming its mining site near the town is intolerably loud. Yep, not really all that surprised at all that it would be intolerably loud. The group claims some residents have suffered sensory, emotional, psychological, and health impacts due to the constant, unrelenting noise and vibrations from Marathon's site. Some locals have experienced fatigue, headaches, memory issues, hearing loss, migraines, and tinnitus. I don't really know what tinnitus is, but it sounds pretty bad. The group alleged pre-existing health conditions such as high blood pressure have worsened for some residents as well. Obviously, if you can never get any sleep, you will have worsened health problems. Obviously, I think like even if you didn't have pre-existing conditions, it would get really, really annoying very, very quickly if you couldn't get any sleep because the miners were running all day. I can just only imagine what thousands of miners would actually sound like because I know what one miner mining off a laptop sounds like. And man, dude, it's loud. And trust me, like that was only half the noise. The rest of the noise was like me actually like using the like kind of air vent blower to keep my system cool enough so it wouldn't spontaneously combust, which it did eventually anyways. So just imagine all that noise every night. I think they have a very, very valid case. Although this might somewhat hurt crypto, I highly doubt it'll hurt crypto that much. But it might decrease the hash rate for a little bit. But I'm not really too worried about this. It can probably just locate these mines in the middle of nowhere so it won't actually disturb the town's residents and allow them to actually sleep. I feel for these residents. I actually agree with this lawsuit because the amount of noise generated from that stuff is pretty horrendous, I have to say. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. In other news, Nick Szabo is now the #1 suspect to be Satoshi Nakamoto in HBO's documentary. He's overtaken Len Sassaman on the prediction markets known as Polymarket. Now, Polymarket isn't exactly a scientific way to gauge these things because it's not one person, one vote. The more money you have to bet, the more voting power you have, which is why I think it's a very bad predictor for the U.S. election. Not only Polymarkets, but Predictit, Kalshi, I think they're all pretty bad. And that's why they vary a lot in terms of who you think's going to win a certain thing. Like if you look on Polymarket, Donald Trump is winning by 7-8 points. If you look on Predictit, Harris is winning by 4 or 5. I haven't really checked Kalshi markets or something. I haven't really checked Kalshi markets, but we can actually look at that as well lately. The same thing for this Satoshi Nakamoto, Len Sassaman, Nick Szabo thing. If it's one person that's big that really believes it's Nick Szabo, he will bet a lot on Nick Szabo, and that will tilt the chances. Realistically, one big guy betting, like a millionaire or a billionaire, can actually really shift the chances in a candidate's or a person's favor. So it is no longer Nick Szabo. It is Len Sassaman. It is no longer Len Sassaman. It's Nick Szabo, and Nick Szabo is alive, which is why I think he's not actually Satoshi, because I don't know if anyone could actually resist all those coins in that Satoshi wallet. So basically, Polymarket bettors have put 27.9 odds of Szabo, inventor of the failed crypto network BitGold, as the HBO's Money Electric, the Bitcoin mystery will name as a Bitcoin pseudonymous creator, followed by Sassaman at 14%, and then Blockstream CEO back at 4.3%. I'm not really sure why Finney isn't up there, and we might actually see a rise in Hal Finney's chances as Satoshi Nakamoto as we actually get near. But Nick Szabo is now the leader. But those odds dropped as originally it was Sassaman, but the odds actually dropped as the documentary's producer Colin Hobach told CNN on October 7th that he confronted who he thinks is the real Satoshi Nakamoto in person, which would likely rule Sassaman out as he died in 2011. So Hal Finney died in 2014. I'm not really sure when he confronted the real Satoshi Nakamoto. But Adam Back and Nick Szabo then would be the most likely choices. So very interesting development in the prediction markets for who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Also, Sassaman's widow, Meredith Patterson, also told DL News on October 8th that HBO did not approach her for the documentary. Maybe they did talk with Szabo, but he's not saying anything at all right now either. So that's very interesting. And there is a new dangerous crypto ransomware. What crypto ransomware is you download something on your computer, and then it basically destroys your computer, takes all your data, and then hackers threaten to actually leak it unless you give them lots and lots of money. So the United States Health Sector Cybersecurity Coordination Center said at least one healthcare entity in the U.S. has been hit by Trinity ransomware. So it does target healthcare and a lot of big organizations, but you can also be hit as well. They just obviously make more money from healthcare and big organizations. So a United States government agency warned about Trinity ransomware, known for extorting crypto from its victims in exchange for not leaking data. So they basically do extortion, and they only want you to pay them in crypto because obviously crypto is non-reversible. On August 4th, the U.S. Health Sector Cybersecurity Coordination Center, HC3, published a profile of Trinity ransomware, a threat actor that targets sensitive data. The attackers use phishing emails, malicious websites, and software vulnerabilities to trick victims into installing the ransomware on their computers. So they employ a variety of different methods. If you get it, obviously all your data and all your files are encrypted, and you cannot get them back until you get a decryptor from them, which involves you contacting them in 24 hours and paying them X amount of money. So, and there has not been a commercial thing out there that can actually decrypt their encryption, so you're kind of stuck. They also get this software, and they threaten to leak your details unless you pay X amount of money. So victims have 24 hours to contact the cyber criminals, and failure to do so will result in stolen data being leaked or sold. Unfortunately, no known decryption tools are currently available for Trinity ransomware, leaving victims with a few options. So, yeah, you might not have any really way to get rid of Trinity unless you bend the knee. HC3 said Trinity ransomware targets critical infrastructure such as healthcare providers. The government agency has said 7 organizations had fallen to the ransomware. HC3 is aware of at least one healthcare entity in the United States that has fallen victim to Trinity ransomware recently. And obviously, this is just adding on to a growing trend of crypto scams and crypto ransomware, which does not make crypto look too good, but these things are always going to happen. So yes, they try to install a virus on your computer. They encrypt all your data, steal all your information, and then they threaten to release it unless you pay them X amount of money, which is a large amount. It does target organizations, but individuals, especially high net worth individuals, could actually be affected as well, and they will target your crypto wallet in terms of funds because they want crypto, not dollars for payment. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.